Nearly 1,000 representatives of private equity firms, hedge funds, pension funds, university and foundation endowments from across the world gathered in New York's Waldorf Astoria for the Global Ag Investing Conference that seeks to facilitate land investments, especially in the developing world, including Africa. But a few dozen activists outside had a different message. This is Ethiopian human rights activist Tedla Asfaw.
This is a very important thing. Why we are here is that because Africans' land and water now is on market for sale. So this matter really concerns us because most of our people, especially in Ethiopia, 80% are living on land. Now the government is selling this land. Most of them are dislocated from their farms in western part of Ethiopia, for example in Gambela. People are to be knocked out from their land and the land has to be given for the new buyers. Over there it is survival question. Here you might lose your real estate but still survive. In Africa, if African farmers are losing their land, they have nowhere to go. Families are going to be destroyed and this has to stop.
Activists like Asfaw have singled out the World Bank for helping back harmful land speculators in the name of poverty reduction.
They are talking about sustainability and renewability, but what they are doing is that they are encouraging buyers by giving cheap capital on the market. They are encouraging. That's why we are saying that high World Bank and all of those higher institutions, rather than helping Africans for sustainable agriculture, they are just giving capital so that foreign buyers are taking out the land and Africans are going to be destitute. And this is a very dangerous precedent and we have to tell the truth. We are not in any way accepting such a deal.
The activists from across the United States and Africa were joined by representatives of the Oakland Institute, a think tank that's uncovered a disturbing trend in recent land acquisition in Africa.
The Oakland Institute's reports that are based on our research for the last 4 years show that there's just an alarming pace of land grabs in Africa. In 2009 alone, over 60,000 hectares were leased out from under the feet of the people who actually live in these communities. And what our reports actually exposed for the first time were many of the details of these deals, which are completely not transparent. In the case of Tanzania, it was negotiated completely in private by the Prime Minister with a U.S. investor who had ties to Iowa State University. And not only are they displacing hundreds of thousands of people, especially in Ethiopia and Tanzania, we're seeing really focused impacts in that regard, but also the deals are giving away rights to water resources, mineral extraction on the land as well, often with no limits placed on them whatsoever. So the Niger River Delta, for example, is being impacted, and that can have immense consequences as we undergo climate change and food is getting more scarce in this region anyway. We're concerned as we see huge tracts of land being leased off to investors who intend to grow crops for export and do absolutely nothing for the food security of these nations.
A number of Occupy Wall Street protesters also took part, including Matt Canfield, who's especially concerned about the participation of universities in the conference.
I think really it's important for people to care about this issue because land grabs are not just happening in Africa, not just in one location, they're happening all over the world. And this is another example of corporations, of large institutions, large banks, and inclusion with our governments robbing people of their livelihoods. And it's the same issue that we face here in the United States with housing, and it's in Africa. So we have to work in solidarity to build this as a global movement.
Reporting for The Real News, this is Jess Lenore in New York.